This is an example of the problems in section 1 of chapter 5 in your book. These problems ask us to find out if the function is 1-to-1, and if the function is 1-to-1, we are to find the inverse function. Keep in mind as you do the problems and you watch the video that I'm using a pen that I've never used before, and my writing is a little funny and a little crooked. For the first part of the problem, we will need to put the problem in our calculator. Make sure that we put parentheses around each part of the fraction. When we put it in our calculator in the standard viewing window and hit graph, we can see by the vertical line test that this is indeed a function, and by the horizontal line test that this function is indeed 1-to-1. Most of the graphs that are not 1-to-1 will be parabolas, so chances are really good if your graph is not a parabola, it is 1-to-1. Now that we've answered that question, we can move on to step 2. In step 2, we want to exchange the x and y values. Once I exchange the x and y values, I can see that my product is like a proportion, so I can cross multiply. My ultimate goal will be to get y by itself. When I cross multiply, I use the distributive property. Here I'm taking y plus 4 times 1 and x times y minus 3. In order to get y by itself, the two y values need to be together. So I've moved one across the equal sign so they will be together. In the next step, I will factor out a y value so that the y can then work on being by itself. In the last step, I divide both sides by 1 minus x. Y is now by itself, and we have the inverse function. The inverse function is negative 3x minus 4 divided by 1 minus x, and that answers both questions in our book.